Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside, and that's it. What does that say? Be grateful. Be grateful, guys. So today we're going to be talking about ransomware and how there's been NAS backup servers that have been once again attacked. This time attacked with Deadbolt is the ransomware strand. And I did a piece about this towards the end of last year when QNAP got hit really hard with this ransomware attack, where people were just, they lost so much data. The only people that were able to get their data back were the ones that could afford it because it was so expensive. Because at that time, I told you that these over-the-counter type of NAS solutions, if you don't know what a NAS is, it's basically a network attached storage device. It's a place for you to be able to back up all of your data, and while it's being backed up, it's also stored on multiple drives so that there's redundancy involved. One of the means of redundancy is called RAID 5. There's RAID 6. There's many different types of RAID arrays, but RAID 5 is very common, especially if you have 5 hard drives. And a lot of these over-the-counter, as I call them, or off-the-shelf type of NAS solutions or appliances are a type of RAID 5. They have 5 hard drives in them, and they put your data across all of them so that you have redundancy. So if one hard drive goes bad, you end up not losing everything. You can stick in a fresh drive and it will make all of the copies of that redundancy over to that one drive, and now everything is back up and running. Well, at that time, towards the end of last year, I wrote a book, and it was this one called How to Create a Digital Fort Knox, Backing Up Your Digital Life. And I wrote this book as a means of taking you on my journey of transforming my just helter-skelter mess of a backup system that I had, where I had a ton of external backups and backups of the backups and finally backups of the backups of a backup that I would put off in another location. Hence the 3-step process of backing up your data properly. Anyways, I ended up taking you on this trip, so to speak. And I showed you how I took an old computer out of the garage that some of the parts was like 10, 15 years old, really old parts, and turned them into this NAS. And I ended up using a software called Unraid. I created an Unraid server. It's called Harley, and now it's up and running for about a year, I guess, year and 3 months or something like that. So I took you on this journey as a means of teaching you what I did that really worked out well, and I gave you all of the reasons why I really believe I'm a proponent of this type of system in comparison to buying an over-the-counter or off-the-shelf solution. Now, the reason, or one of the main reasons why, is because of exactly what just happened. Now, last week we heard another ransomware attack hit. And this time they ended up going after Asus, the Asus Store platform or NAS device. And a lot of people ended up getting locked out of their data. Now, let me get into this a little bit deeper. But before I do, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks as of yet, go check them out. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. There's a bunch of ebooks that you can go download 100% free, just for getting to this part of the video. So back into what has happened as of late. Now, once again, Asus ended up getting hit, the Asus Store platform, and they got hit pretty hard. There was a lot of people that lost data, they're locked out of their data, and they were hit with this zero-day vulnerability. Now, if you don't know what a zero-day vulnerability is, basically it is a vulnerability that the company has not fixed as of yet. Hence, zero-day vulnerability. A lot of companies find these vulnerabilities and then they go and patch it. Well, before the patch comes to existence, let's say, or is put out there to everyone, during that period of time, that's when people are most vulnerable, obviously. So one of the reasons why I like the Unraid system is because they have never been hit with a zero-day anything. The only time people get hit with some type of ransomware with a RAID array system, like the one that I built, is if they do stupid with their networks and punch holes in their networks where they shouldn't be, or DMZ stuff, which is a demilitarized zone where everything is just open, or just all kinds of just stupid things, but never a 0 day, like we saw with QNAP and now as we're seeing with ASUS. So this is a message that came to ASUSTOR from the cybercriminals, let's just say. It says, important message for ASUSTOR. All your affected customers have been targeted using a 0-day vulnerability in your product. We offer you 2 options to mitigate this and future damage. Number 1, make a Bitcoin payment of 7.5 BTC to, and then an account. You will receive all details about the 0-day vulnerability so it can be patched. A detailed report will be sent to your email address. Number 2, make a Bitcoin payment of 50 BTC to this account. You will receive a universal decryption master key and instructions that can be used to unlock all your clients' files. Additionally, we will also send you all details about the 0-day vulnerability to your email address. Upon receipt of payment for either option, all information will be sent to you in a timely fashion. Finally, there is no way to contact us. These are our only offers. Thank you for your consideration. Greetings from Deadbolt team. So, yeah. I'm sure ASUSTOR over there was not very happy. This is an Asus company, obviously, a subsidiary that makes their NAS products. If you don't know, 7.5 BTC as of today is $300,000. And that basically only gives them the ability to fix or patch. It gives them the information that they need to patch their problem. It doesn't give them the master key to unlock all of their clients' information. If they want the master key, what do they have to pay? 50 Bitcoin. How much is 50 Bitcoin today? I'm glad you asked. $2 million. It's like 1.9 something. Let's call it $2 million that Asus will have to pay. Will Asus pay that $2 million? That's the question. So that this way they can rescue all of their clients' files. I don't know. I really don't know. Some companies are really paying up when it comes to the ransomware. Banks, some schools, all different types of larger organizations, they are just paying the big money to be able to get their data unlocked. Remember, once that data is encrypted, you are screwed. That is just simply it. There's no 2 ways about it. There's no way to unscrew it. It is over. All right? The only way to get your data back is to get that master key, that key that is needed to decrypt your files. If not, you just have a bunch of nonsense. There is nothing there of value. So this is one of the things that are extremely, extremely bad when it comes to these ransomware attacks. And we see it all the time when it comes to the 0-day attacks. 0-day attacks are the worst kind because they prey on the vulnerabilities in software. With these companies, there is a lot of, let's say, smaller companies that do not have enough security staff that could mitigate these type of situations. So we see that happen a lot. It happened, like I said before, with QNAP last year. Same thing happened. It was a 0-day vulnerability that caused this widespread ransomware attack where people were out tens of thousands of dollars. Millions of dollars, probably, if you add them all together. Now, ASUSTOR put out a statement, a recommendation list of what to do if you ended up getting hit with this ransomware, with this deadbolt thing. So this is what they state. In response to deadbolt ransomware attack affecting ASUSTOR devices, ASUSTOR EZ-Connect, ASUSTOR EZ Sync, and ezconnect.to will be disabled as the issue is investigated. For your protection, we recommend the following measures. Change default ports, including the default NAS web access port of 8000 and 8001, as well as remote web access port of port 80, as well as 443. They want you to change these ports. Disable EZ-Connect. Make an immediate backup, turn off your terminal or your SSH as well as SFTP, services. And then they finalize with, for more details on security measures, please refer to the following link, and they give you a link. I'll probably post it down below. Maybe I'll put it in the description also if you need to go there. It will give you some more information on what to do. They continue by saying, if you find that your NAS has been affected by deadbolt ransomware, please follow the steps listed below. Number 1, unplug the Ethernet network cable. Number 2, safely shut down your NAS by pressing and holding the power button for 3 seconds. Number 3, do not initialize your NAS as this will erase your data. And finally, number 4, fill out the form listed below. And then they have, once again, a link to a form that you can fill out so that they know that you've been affected. And maybe if they decide to pay the $2 million to these cybercriminals, you might get your data back. They might be able to fix it for you, either remotely or by you sending in your NAS to them. But either which way, this is problematic, guys. This is problematic. And I've told you about this, like I said, in the past, when we had this discussion at the end of last year, where NASs need to be secured, and I told you about me and my NAS that I had that I ended up with a failure, and I lost 7 years worth of data. And I was very fortunate to be able to have backups upon backups upon backups of that data, so I was able to recover it. I did end up losing about, I would say about 6 months of data that wasn't fully backed up and backed up and backed up onto an off-site location like I do, but it still was a very small amount compared to 7 years of information, only let's call it 6 months or maybe even less that was actually lost. So not a good thing, but this is one of the reasons why I wrote that book. How to create a digital Fort Knox, backing up your digital life, because it is that important, guys. It is that important. Bear in mind, any device that's connected to the internet and has some type of port forwarding going on, so it allows the external networks, the external or the internet, come into your internal network, it will be vulnerable. End of story. But what we have seen with QNAP and now with ASUSTOR, what ends up happening is these companies are not writing their software securely. Or let's just say there's not enough staff on board to prevent these type of zero-day vulnerabilities. What we end up seeing is this exponentially worse breakneck speed of ransomware attacks. And that is what we're seeing now here with this attack. There is a lot of folks out there that currently do not have access to their software, to their files, to any of their data because it has been encrypted. There's very few people out there that have the capabilities to be able to reverse this, to be able to figure out what that master key is without deleting all of your information. I'm sure there's some folks out there that can do it, but it's rare. And you'll still be paying thousands, probably tens of thousands of dollars to them to spend the time to be able to do it. So you just don't want to get there. You don't want it to happen to you. And this is why, like I said, I was a proponent of Unraid and building my own system, my own backup system, instead of relying on someone else to do it. Because now it's up to me to safeguard myself. And while it is not the easiest thing, if you follow the steps that I listed here in this book, step by step, you're going to be pretty damn secure. You're going to be much more secure than what we've been seeing here with QNAP and now with ASUSTOR. All right? That is absolutely factual. And as I said before, Unraid has not been hit. Specifically, Unraid software has not been zero-dayed, let's call it, and hit with some type of malware, some type of ransomware. They have not. That means that the people that wrote this, they're doing a pretty damn good job. Until they don't. But the bottom line is you want to be able to also secure things for yourself. And I have to say that if you're interested in this book, you can find it over on Amazon, or you can go over to JCristina.com and pick up a copy. I have signed copies, not signed copies, and I also have the ebook version of this that you can purchase. And matter of fact, I have the prologue. Remember I told you that I have ebooks up there that you can pick up for free? Well, I have the prologue to this book, so you can go and read that and see if you're interested in building this for yourself. I don't understand why anyone wouldn't be, because all of us have some type of old computer that's just laying around doing nothing that literally they can use to create a NAS. and do it, number one, affordably, safely, with absolutely no or almost no technical know-how. It is super, super simple. And matter of fact, the software install, I step you through it. I hold your hand on how to do it. Very, very simple. Before I get out of here, I want to give you a couple of tips on how to secure your network or how to secure your NAS as of right now. If you have a NAS from Synology or from, it doesn't matter from who, there's some things that you can do that will help you secure your network or help you secure your NAS. Now, once again, if you get hit with 0-day from that, let's say a Synology 0-day attack, you're screwed. There's not much that you can do. But if it's just from your stupidity and you're leaving open holes, these are some of the holes that you can plug. Number one, when it comes to your root password, for me, the root password has to be a very long password, something that is very hard to figure out. That's number one. Number two, if there is an administrative account called admin on that NAS, delete it and create an account called John Smith. Okay, and John Smith now has administrative access, just like an admin account would. All right, so this way, most of the people that try brute forcing into a NAS or into your network, they're going to go to admin for the username, and then they're going to try a whole bunch of different passwords, like admin or 12345. If you have done that, don't do it. Change it, at least. Anyways, you want to go and delete that admin account and create a John Smith account, whatever you want to call it. Also, if you have the ability to do a two-step authentication, always do it. Always do it. Some of the NAS setups out there allow you to do two-step authentication. Most networks out there today have some type of two-step that's available that you can use your phone to be able to do it or whatever. Do a two-step authentication if available. Also, jump into your port mapping over on your router and check to see what ports are open and why. If you don't know why a specific port is open, well, just go ahead and cancel that or disable that port. And then if you get into a problem like, oh, I can't access the web, well, yeah, you probably shut down port 80 and now you can't get out there. But I would say, shut down all of the ports that you absolutely don't need. Now, if you don't know what all the ports do, in the book, I do list a bunch of the ports and what you should be shutting down. So read through that. I might have that actually in the prologue. Check it out. Also, like I said before, never DMZ your network. Demilitarized zone is what DMZ stands for. What that means is your network is wide open to the internet, let's say. Wide open to any traffic, anytime. A lot of kids do this because they don't know any better and they have found that they can't play their favorite game because port 1234 or port 8763 is not open and they don't know how to punch a hole in their firewall to open up that port. Yada, yada, yada. All right. It's not an easy thing. So what do? They take the entire thing and they DMZ it. So now they're like, oh yeah, now I can play. Yeah, you just opened up your entire network, your whole family's computers, everything to the World Wide Web. All right? Don't be stupid, but a lot of kids do this. So as the adult, you need to go into your router and check this kind of stuff out. You don't want to see any of that. DMZ is a no-no. Shut it off just in case it's somehow turned on. Also consider all of the shares on your network attached storage device have a user and a password name associated to it. So, for example, if you have a share that's called videos, like where you put all of your video stuff, or photos, where you put all your photos, that share should have a user associated to it, like Jim Smith, or John Smith, or John Doe, or whoever. And they should need a password to access that specific share. Why? Basically what that means is if anyone gets into your NAS, they cannot access that specific share, period. They need to now also authenticate to get into that share. Now, once they get in, there's other things that they can do to kind of blow that theory out of the water, but for basic hackers that don't know what the hell they're doing and they're using like a rootkit or something like that, well, you'll be able to stop them with just simply adding a username and password for each one of your shares. Also, keep your software up to date. I can't tell you how many times I've been over to people's homes and they're like, yeah, I don't know, something's wrong with this router, it doesn't work. I'm like, when was the last time you updated firmware? They're like, I don't think we've ever done that. I'm like, yeah, it's been running for 10 years. There have already been like 4 or 5 security patches and all kinds of other crap that have been sent down and it's never been installed. And then you want to know why you're hacked, right? The same thing happens with your NAS. If for some reason you have a Synology or you have like a QNAP or whatever, is the software, that back-end software, current? And if it's not, why the hell not? Make sure that this is current or you are going to get hacked. Once again, check out the book, How to Create a Digital Fort Knox, Backing Up Your Digital Life. Check it out if you're interested. Come on this journey with me. I have this system running for over a year now, 0 problems. It has been just chugging along on a motherboard that you will not even believe how old it is. It's like an old 586 or something, a Pentium 1 or Pentium 2, something Duo, or I don't even know. An old 12-year-old or even older motherboard with all old internals, but all of the hard drives and everything in it is brand new. So you're going to spend all of your money on the actual data housing, all of those hard drives, and not on the actual equipment itself. A lot of people buy this equipment because it's all shiny and it looks all cool and everything. But the bottom line here is what you want to make sure that you get is good hard drives into your NAS. And all too often, a lot of these companies use hard drives that are not always the best in these NAS setups. Why? Because you're not going to see what they are anyways in there. And they will put whichever drives are currently on the market for the cheapest price into these NAS setups. All right? Not a good deal. Not a smart decision. For me, always use hard drives that you have found or if you've done your research to be the best, longest life, and quick tip, this is also in the book, buy the hard drives from multiple locations, multiple times. Why is that? If you buy 5 hard drives from, let's say, Amazon, a seller on Amazon, well, when you buy 5, chances are they're going to open up a box and they're going to send you the 5 drives that are in that box that they've gotten cases and cases from the manufacturer. Doesn't matter who it is, Seagate, maybe Western Digital, whatever. But they will send you those 5. And many times those 5 are in sequential serial number. What does that mean? Basically, they were made at the exact same time, maybe the same day even, on the same assembly line. So if there's a problem with one drive, the chances of there being a problem with the rest of them is very high. And this is one of the reasons why I ended up having a problem getting one of these over-the-counter or off-the-shelf NASs, because I ended up having 2 hard drives going bad out of 5. And if you don't know what that means in a RAID 5, look it up. Bottom line, everything was gone. Period. 7 years worth of data history because 2 drives failed in a 5-drive RAID array. Okay? You don't want that to happen to you. Anyways, I hope you found this even a little bit useful. Hopefully. Maybe. If you have, please throw the video a thumbs up. That would be awesome. Also, subscribe to the channel. There's over 700 videos on here for you to take a look at. Click this little button over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it. Many blessings to all of you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Love you all.